Hey Jeff here from About Environmental, and I thought I would just take you all on a little bit of an update of the courtyard garden with the new raised beds and the pond, which are two of my latest videos. It's been a while since I've actually put both of them up, so I thought I would go through and show you what they look like now, and some other things around the garden. Just gonna go handheld for a minute, so apologies for any shakiness. But it's just easier for this bit, so. This is the pond area, and it's kind of like a little native garden. So I've got these 4 terracotta pots here. That's just a viola, like an exotic one that my son planted. But then we've got 2 of these, which are Cryocephalum semipeposum, which are like a little everlasting sort of thing. So you got one there, one over the back. I actually got them from Jindabyne when I went and did the Kosciuszko trail. I've had them for a long time, but they've been in a different area. Got a nice little golden everlasting, Xerochrysum bracteatum. Then we move on to the pond. Apologies for my shadows. I'll attempt to get them out. In the land section, we got the bottle daisies starting to flower, which are these. They're like Legnophora gracilis, these ones. So there's a few along there, and then there's some over the back. We've then got the Arthropodium milliformis, has this huge flower spike on it. It's way up here. Hasn't opened any flowers yet, but it's looking good. Over the back there we've got Hydrocotyle tripitara, as well as Apium prostratum, which is sea celery, and Phacinia nodosa, which is knobby clubrush. As we move over the pond here, you see the duckweed and the Zolifern has just really taken over. There's some more hydrocotyle in the water, starting to get new growth on the Nymphoides, which is cool. I'm really excited about that. The water plantain in the back there is doing quite well. These Bacopa down here, which is these ones, they're starting to put on a lot of new growth too. And then these rushes, which I've forgotten the names of, they're doing well. Move over to the edge, got just a bit more Arthropodium, 2 more of them, again with some pretty big spikes on them. This is a Dendrobium kingianum, not a local native, but a really nice orchid, very similar to the Sydney rock orchid, which is locally native, but has pink flowers and they're smaller. So I got one of them here. It just finished flowering. I had it here because it was looking very nice. Empty pot over there I need to figure out what to do with. But then we've got the Pelargonium astral, or the native storksbill, or austral storksbill, or native geranium, if you want to call it. That's really doing well. I just really unceremoniously transplanted this into a grow bag, and it really was not loving life for a while, but it's come good now. This thing here, which is a Pultonea, I can't remember the species of it. I got it for free. But it was growing very leggy, so I moved it over here hoping that it'll bush out a bit. Then we move into this. This is kind of a newer bit. I had this pot laying around, and my Blackman cartilaginum was really struggling. So I've put it in here. There's Peperomia floribunda variety blanda as well, which is this little Peperonia, which is a local native. And then there's a Sydney rock orchid over the back, which I've had for a while but has never flowered. Yeah, this is probably just a temporary thing because these 3 things don't like the same conditions, but I just had the plants and I had to put them somewhere while I was figuring out what to do exactly with each one of them. So I just put all 3 of them in here. They were happy for now, so that's good. This is my native meadow container. This is like a 30 by 40 centimeter sub-irrigated pot, and I've put in all sorts of little meadow species. So there's lots of grass in here, which is echidna grass, Echinopoga novatus. Or forest hedgehog grass is the accepted common name, but I call it echidna grass. Then we've got these Dichondra down here, which is flowering. There's lots of this Lobelia purpurescens growing through it. What else have we got in here? There's some Wayland Persia gracilis, which is over the back here. There's a little bit in the middle here too. It's kind of all just intertwined at the moment and blending in. There's also a couple of xerochrysums. I thought there was more dichondra in here somewhere, but I can't see it. Oh, that might be it there actually, intermingled with the lobelia. I'm really interested in alternative ways of looking at growing things, and instead of just having single pots for plants, like how we can create little systems in small spaces, even if you don't have a lot of room. So that's what this experiment is. Not most people probably don't want to grow a little grassy meadow, but I really love native grasses. I find them really fascinating, so I grew them. We'll move on now. So this is currently one of my favourite plants in the yard. This is Corozema caudatum. I believe these are from WA, but these are just so beautiful. I love them. They're called the flame pea. They got this really beautiful pea flower with the pink and the orange and the yellow. They've also got quite nice foliage, and yeah, I've moved it over here recently. It used to be on the other side of the courtyard. And then over here we've got the Pultonea villosa, which has just finished flowering, although it's got a couple new flower buds coming on, so I might have a second flush of flowers. Then over the back I've got to do some weeding, but it's just like a viola meadow, and then there's a callistemon in the background there. But that's not really much of, I don't really do too much in those gardens. I just maintain them really. I've only put a couple of things in where things have not made it. Move on to the veggies now and the other cool stuff. So this is my really nice golden everlasting. This has just been flowering all winter long, and we're into spring now, and yeah, it's still flowering really heavily and just looking amazing. Then we got my son's little veggie bed, so more of those violet things that he picked out. They're looking quite nice. He's also got some spinach, Mitsuna, some rocket, another bit of spinach, and then these chives. He did have a mustard golden frills over the back here, but we had to pull it out because it got a bit too big, and he'd eaten most of the leaves off it anyway. This is one of the raised beds out of two that we put together recently. Everything's still pretty young. I just put these lettuce in the other day. I had them underneath a crate, like a seed tray, because bowerbirds like to eat the young lettuce leaves, which is why they got so leggy. But I've taken that off now. The bowerbirds seem to be leaving them alone, so hopefully they still do, and they sort of get a bit nicer looking. These are I think they're little gem. Yeah, little gems. They're like a butterhead type. Over the back we've got some red oak leaf lettuce, which just looks really nice. Got a little bit of coriander, which is struggling in the corner over there. And then we got a row of carrots. They're the baby carrots. And then we got a row of radish, which some of them are starting to get ready to harvest. We've then got snow peas growing up the trellis there. They were a really late sowing. I don't think I'll get any peas off them. It depends. They've got until my tomatoes are ready to go in, and then I'm pulling them out and putting tomatoes there. I'm only going to do 2, maybe 3 tomato plants this year, because we've got another La Nina, which means it's going to be very rainy, very overcast. Last year, tomatoes really struggled to set fruit here and ripen at my place, so I'm just going to probably go for some smaller cherries, or I'm not going to go for anything large, and hopefully I can get some tomatoes, but I'm only going to go a couple tomato plants. This silly looking blue crate is again, it's more bowerbird protection, so there's a bunch of spinach in there. The bowerbirds can poke their heads through the holes, which is why there's bits of timber down the bottom, but yeah, that's just for that. 2 blueberry plants here, lots of fruit on them. Yeah, just need to get some more nets to cover the blueberries that are on here. I didn't get a super huge fruit set, but we didn't get a super cold winter, so that makes sense. Move on to this bit. This is scarlet frills mustard, and they've all gone to seed, as you can see. We'll gone to flower anyway. I'm going to let them go to seed though. there's right in the middle of it, which you probably won't be able to see. In there somewhere is a zucchini. Under here we got some golden beetroots. Some are hiding underneath this leaf. Bit of pak choi. This is what I have the net on because I accidentally left it off last night and the bowerbirds ate the leaves off those plants. They should come good again, but yeah, that's why they're protected, just till they get a bit bigger, and then the bowerbirds leave them alone. There's some rocket, 2 golden nugget pumpkins, and a whole bunch of red burgundy bush beans, which are some of my favourites, and then some more pak choi, and I think they're boltardi beetroots over the back. And the last little section, which is kind of my new little experiment, is a little corn area. See if I can grow corn in this area. I don't know if I will, but giving it a go. Yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.